I want to send this to my ex-wife, as a final piece of closure. Things I have had heavy on my heart. I have planned to have my family meet her so I don't have to face her. I do plan on getting along with her for our kids' sake, just not for now. She keeps calling me, acting like we're friends 1 second and then completely ignoring me when it's inconvenient for her. Anyway, I hate you. You were the one person in this world that was never supposed to hurt me. The one person I opened my soul to. And now, thinking of you puts my stomach in knots from the betrayal. Now, you've ruined our future for some ducking nobody that's never had you like I did. You had nothing when I took you into my arms. I saved you from a terrible life of abuse and neglect. I held you when the pain was too much. I poured my entire life into you, giving you everything I possibly could. But you know what's worse than all that? The blank stare Vaylin gets when I leave him, because he doesn't understand what's going on. The screams for mommy when you aren't around. The constant reminders of, that's mama's nights, where mama go, or the way he runs to the door when the dogs bark screaming mama. I hate you for doing this to our kids. The selfishness, the bitter sting of betrayal, the cold demeanor you have towards me, like we didn't go to hell and back together. Acting like you could give a duck less if I lived or died. Like you don't even know me, like I'm nothing to you. None of it compares to the anger I feel towards you for our children. There's someone else now. I don't know where it will go. I just know she keeps you off my mind and makes me smile when I didn't think that was possible anymore. Anyway, all this to say, I don't want to hear about your day. Although, I am proud of you. Really, I knew you would kick ass at your job. You have so much potential and can do anything you put your mind to. Isn't that ducked up though? I care about you even now, as mad at you as I am. That's love, Megan, not this bullshit you've given your family up for. I know you don't care, I know you're lost in the bliss of getting ducked up, loving someone new and the hope of a new future. That's okay. I just needed to get this off my chest, it's been weighing on me for days. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, don't send it, never show a cheater your weakness. Sorry, but don't expect her to react how you want her to react, she will not change her mind. In fact, she might think that you are like a good loyal dog and that she can do what she wants and come back anytime she wants and you would beg for her. Write this on a paper and burn it if you want, but don't send her that. You know what work against cheater indifference, you grey rock her. If she call and talk about her day, you just say, are you calling me to talk about Vaylin? No, then sorry but I don't have time, bye. Find a good co-parenting app if you can. Simple as that. Everything that is not about your kid is useless and should be ignored. She wants to be warm and close, etc. Then be cold and distant. Op answer, oh no, I definitely wasn't trying to win her back. There's no way I could, not after seeing the pain she has caused my children. Just stuff that has been heavy on my heart that I wanted to say to her. I accept your advice though. Guess I'll write it down and burn it, I like that idea. Redditor 2, this is a great and an honest letter. You did great writing this letter and sharing it with us here. We understood all of your sentiments and share it with you. Now, take this letter and get rid of it. The same way you should get rid of her for good. Do not share this letter and your sentiments with her. She does not deserve it. Redditor 3, don't send it. Don't allow her a window to your hurt. To all the parts she broke. It won't have the desired effect. She'll need to justify the pain she's caused, and she'll do that by painting your words as manipulative. Live a life you can be proud of. That your kids will be proud of. That will speak the loudest. And by then, you won't care if she's listening. Story 2. Wife cheated many times while we dated, even once for money. Short version. My wife and I are high school sweethearts, married young 20 and have been married almost 25 years. On our wedding day I knew that she had cheated one time, that's all she'd admitted to. Over the years I kept pressing because I knew in my gut that there were more. At year 10 of our marriage she admitted to having cheated twice before we were married. At year 14 she admitted to cheating 3 times before we were married. At year 20 she admitted to 4 times before we were married, but only kissing. See the pattern. Every now and then I need to talk about it, and sometimes asked if she cheated more times. This always sets off an argument and her calling me unforgiving and obsessive. My point was that she never gave me the opportunity to make an informed decision to marry her. Other details: I was a virgin. She told me that she was too, but that was a lie. She did not admit that it was a lie until 2 years into our marriage, when she admitted to having time with all of her boyfriends. Over the years she made me feel bad for having feelings around our story changing. At first it was a first love leading to marriage kind of story. It turned out to be that I was just one of many, while she truly was my first. Recently I have had the need to vent, which is why I'm posting. I gave her an ultimatum to admit everything or we divorce. She responded with no new information. I know that I will never know the truth, and I have to be okay with that, but I want her to tell me more, no matter how embarrassing for her. That's the least she can do. Note: she has always minimized her promiscuity as her rebellious period, and that she truly was a good girl who hit a rough period. And we were young. She also mentioned that she was abused into her teens by an uncle. I went off to college and literally shared bathrooms with women, and never did anything inappropriate except make cookies with an entryway mate whom I considered a friend. I have always thought that she cheated while I was away, but no hard evidence. I don't think that she has cheated since we have been married, and our marriage has been good, other than this issue that has always lingered in the background. Sometimes I write notes to myself to vent. Here is the latest. Sometimes clarity comes in the middle of the night. A few thoughts. Has she told me everything? Likely not, because she refuses to swear to God despite me pointing out that it is exactly what you do when you take an oath. She was giving the old-fashioned religious excuse that she knows is not accurate, because anyone who takes an oath swears to God. Last time she refused to swear was because she was not telling the complete truth. Conclusion: there is more that she knows that she is lying about. What then? I know that her mo is to tell partial truth but leave out the time part, which means that. Do I think that she has told me everything? Absolutely not. I honestly think that she cheated probably 2x what she has admitted to. Perhaps she is ashamed, and I can only assume the worst. Early on in our relationship, right after high school, she went to the movies with her sister's ex-boyfriend. She said that she considered him an older brother. I recall her lying about it, but her mother told me about it by mistake. The next day when I came over, the first thing that she said was that they didn't touch each other. What? I think that was her tell. Later she admitted that he wanted to have time with her and asked her for a kiss. She said that she was uncomfortable and told him to take her home. I have to assume that she had time with him. With all of the others she told partial truths, but stopped short of the time part. I'll give examples if anyone is interested. Her manager at Wendy's was a predator and had time with the teenage girls who worked there. I remember her telling me that he tried to kiss her, but she told him that she wasn't that kind of girl. I have to assume that she had time with him. She had time with an adult neighbor for money. Perhaps she would have time to get a raise. I don't expect teenagers to make the best decisions. The problem was that she was acting like we shared the same values. Earlier in our marriage I'd asked if she'd had time with another neighbor. Initially she said no, but later she admitted to having time with him before we were together. I have always suspected that she had time with him at least once while we were together. He was always using their phone and spent a night a few times. I have to assume she had time with him. She had another uncle, great uncle, who was a creep. He used to give her money and help her out. She admitted that he made her uncomfortable a few times, implying that she owed him something. Perhaps she had time with him, which would have technically been illegal because she was a teenager and he was probably 70. But I could understand why she would be ashamed, and I really do feel sorry that it happened if indeed it did. Finally, she has another cousin closer to our age who used to abuse her. She recently admitted that this cousin helped her pay for her prom dress and also told her that I would never continue to be her boyfriend because I was going off to college. It is likely that she had time with him. Again, I feel sorry that this happened, but all I want is the truth. Part of this is my fault because before she admitted anything, the morning after one of the cheating events, she asked a hypothetical question. What would you do if I had time with someone else? I remember it like yesterday. Keep in mind I was a teenager. I said I would leave you. She said just like that, huh? Later that day she told me that a guy she hung out with the prior night pressured her to have time, but she did not do it. Rather she told him to put it away. Of course that was a lie, but an example of how she has almost always told a little truth but left out the time part. Of course she eventually admitted that she had time that night. Same with the others that she eventually admitted to. This is also my fault because I did get angry when she admitted things over the years. Out of anger I called her Sut and W-or. I regret that now and have not called her names since before the second admission, which she admitted at year 10 of marriage. So she would rather lie than potentially deal with me calling her names and asking more questions. I will likely never know the full truth. Thanks for listening. If anyone wants other details, please message. I also have a question that I would like a mature woman to answer, or any other advice specifically from a woman. Just want to know if my wife's behavior makes sense. Lying about being a virgin. Why? It would not have mattered much. Deep down I figured she was lying anyway. Lying about how many times. One other thing she does is minimizes the time she had. Example, I didn't enjoy it. I've only enjoyed it with you. It wasn't what you think it was like. It wasn't like a P.I.N. movie. I never kissed while doing it, so it wasn't passionate. I never had an orgasm until I met you. We were never naked. No one has seen me naked. I never saw their penis. After her second admission, I went to a T-plus club because I wanted to see another woman naked. Despite having co-ed bathrooms in college, I was never inappropriate with my floor mates. I told her about it. That's when she says no one has seen my beasts. Sometimes this makes me angry and I say, really? Their penises were in your vagina. I'd rather you show them your beasts than have I to course with them. Women, does any of this seem remotely realistic? When I was 14 I was not passionate with my hand, but it still felt good. Hoping that's not too graphic. Sorry for the long rant. I am at the midpoint of my life, and have no siblings or older mature aunts or cousins to discuss with. Update, we made a deal to stay together 25 years. Update, my wife and I agreed to stay together. I agreed to not divorce her on the condition that she answer my questions honestly and without anger, yelling, defensiveness when I ask, no exceptions. She agreed. Would like to hear thoughts on 2 things. 1. To celebrate our 25th, I gave her a diamond anniversary ring. Yesterday we went to get it sized and she decided to exchange the one that I picked for another. Frankly, I find it a little rude, but perhaps I am off base and it's no big deal. 2. I asked a question that we agreed she would answer with no resistance. She blew up yelling about how much she has been punished for the past and how much she has hated herself for what she did to me. The proceeds to tell me that I should have asked the question differently. This is not what we agreed to. Of course she is human, and has emotions, but we agreed that she would give this to me no matter what I asked because she didn't give me the opportunity 25 years ago. Update, my wife admitted to cheating 4 times, is she still lying? It's me again, I won't get into the background but the short of it. Wife admitted to cheating 4 times before we were married after 20 years. I think that there are more. I figure the real number is 8 or more. In order to get the truth from her, I try to catch her in inconsistencies. Recently she has agreed to talk about this when I need to and answer questions. Frankly, that's not going well. More than a few times I bring of that she had time with 6 people while we were together. She doesn't correct me, even though she's only admitted to 4. Am I reading too much into this? If she were being truthful, wouldn't she correct me? She corrects me when I get other facts wrong. When our discussion gets heated, I say it a few times so that I know that she heard me. For those who were the cheater, did you lie about the number of times you cheated on your so? Update, am I obsessed because of trickle truth? Wife F44 cheated on me M45 before we were married. TT for more than 20 years. Of course I think that there is more. I've been seeing a counselor who suggests that I just forget about the truth. Almost as if the truth doesn't matter. I am trying to salvage the marriage, but the truth has been my condition for moving on. Should I just forget about it? Perhaps act like none of it happened because it was long ago. Sometimes I feel like a horrible person for feeling this way. I have abandoned my efforts to ask my wife questions as we agreed to, because it leads to an argument despite me being calm, and in my opinion gentle and non-judgmental. Does the truth simple not matter? I've read a couple of books that suggest that my quest for the truth is not unusual. Update, still trying to give it a shot, but today is yet another D-Day. This time she admitted to cheating multiple times during our engagement. Long backstory, read my previous posts. Wife of 25 plus year cheated on me before we were married, while we were dating and engaged. Every now and then I need to talk with her about it because the hurt resurfaces. This current cycle has lasted a bit longer than I would like. She has trickle-truthed now for 25 years. While I knew that she'd cheated while we were dating, until today she had only admitted to making out with a guy while we were engaged. Of course I have always thought that there was more. She has never had a sit-down conversation to admit anything. I have always had to listen for slip-ups or she forgets what she already admitted. Last night she and I were discussing why I don't share my day as much. Why I don't share my fears, desires, etc. The conversation led to her betraying me. Last night I mentioned again that she had time after we were engaged. Summary of conversation. Me, despite my commitment you still had time with others after we were engaged. Her, yes I did. I didn't know what I wanted, etc. Me, but you knew that I was serious and really loved you. Her, yes. Me, but you still decided to have time with others after we were engaged. Her, yes. I then got her to repeat it so that it was clear. In previous conversations she would say that she did not understand what I was asking. Earlier this afternoon it came up again. I really wanted to give her a chance to backtrack. So I was a little more pointed. Me, so you knew that I loved you. Her, yes. Me, you had the ring as a reminder symbol. Her, yes I did, but I didn't know what I wanted. Me, engaged, knowing I loved you, with ring you had time with multiple others during our engagement. Her, yes, but I have not been unfaithful while married. I then asked how many times people she deflected. Call me stupid, but I do believe her when she says that she had not been unfaithful other than lying during our marriage. It's the same way that I knew that she was lying about other things. This is a breakthrough in a way because she has not previously admitted to having time with others during our engagement. I still have not clued her in on the fact that she has not divulged this previously. She might still try to backtrack. I still want this to work because not all of the 25 years has been bad. And we still have a child at home. Not really asking for advice, but would love to hear from people in similar situations. I find that somewhat cathartic. Ladies, I understand my wife is embarrassed by her actions as they relate to me, but why not come clean when I asked over the years? I would have been over it by now. I was also deployed to Afghanistan for a year early in the war. I asked her if she would have been okay with me dying having never getting the truth that I asked. Update: she finally admitted to cheating during our engagement. After years of arguing and denying, my wife of 25 years finally admitted to cheating during our engagement. I always knew that she'd cheated, but since I had no evidence I needed her to slip up and admit it. Over the last few months she slipped up and I called her out on it. She slipped up during an argument and I asked a question to be sure that I heard her right. She had previously denied having time with people after we got engaged and admitted to cheating while we were dating drip by drip over 20 years. Her original reason was that she did think that she was lovable, and that I would never love her, or she felt that she wasn't worthy of my love. She was not good enough for me. Conversation was like this: so you had time with others even though I came home from college to be with you? Yes. So you had time even though you knew I loved you and asked you to marry me? Yes. You had time even though you had my ring on your finger? Yes. This is the slip up. I then asked again to make sure she had a chance to correct me. Since then she has not denied it. I knew that she was lying, I just needed her to say it. It was likely multiple times with multiple people, because when I say you had time with other people while we were engaged, she does not interject and say something like wait it was only once or wait it was only a few times. I do believe that the guilt has been eating her up inside, and I do feel that she is actually sorry, especially since had she been truthful in the beginning we might have ended our relationship or might have stayed together. And I would have forgiven. I have always had this gut feeling that I needed to push her for the truth. Strange as it is, I feel better now that I know no repeated word intentionally for emphasis. Over the years with her other admissions I have gotten really angry, and perhaps had I reacted differently she would have been more forthcoming. Others on here have suggested that I am being abusive for asking for the truth after so many years. I do not agree. I think that I have a right to know, especially since I asked her before our wedding. I had a right to make an informed decision to forgive her and end our relationship. Know that she has admitted to having time with others while we were engaged. I do want to know who and when. I would like to know when she actually stopped. My guess is that she was effing around all while I was in college. Do I have a right to know who and when? Thanks for listening again. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. Why did she stop after vows? Redditor 2. I personally have really low self-esteem and my therapist is currently helping me through the feelings of thinking I'm not worthy of good things, but because I often question my worth, the furthest thing from my mind is opening my legs for someone else while in a committed relationship. So, I call BS on that. I understand wanting to know the whens and wheres, but she willingly stayed dishonest and gaslit you for 25 years and you really think that she's now gonna start to be honest? Redditor follow-up, same here, I just lock down when I get low. Everyone reacts differently, but if you're going to be the type that needs validation from others, you don't have to physically get with them to get that high. There are classier ways of going about that. Redditor 3, 1. Honestly, you deserve someone who doesn't betray you like that and lies for years till you get it out of her. 2. I would suggest divorce because, sorry dude, she wouldn't have said it if you did not pressure and catch her slip up. Why stay with someone who can look at you and lie for years? Edit. I read your other post and comments. It seems she doesn't even acknowledge that she hurting you and still trying manipulate you by saying if you don't forgive her it means you don't love her. Dude, she ducked others while being with you and engaged. She has no right to say anything about love or when you should forgive her. She just won't move on and act like nothing happened. I would suggest again divorce her. She isn't remorseful at all. She act more it annoying to her that you keep asking her and not just forget it. Redditor 4, so you would be very unwise to think this behavior ever stopped. You think you know, but it's probably just the tip of the iceberg, as the saying goes. Your wife has proven to be able to lie to you for 25 years and marry you under false pretenses. That is really monstrous abuse. She lied so you would marry her and essentially took away your ability to make an informed choice about your future. Why would she suddenly stop cheating when you were married, when at the time when you should have been at your most intense, your honeymoon phase, she was cheating on you? Make sure you don't project how you would feel onto her. That is a very common and fatal mistake that many BS make. They don't think like you do. If they did, they wouldn't cheat in the first place. I'm sorry man, but every time I have read stories like this, there is intermittent cheating throughout the entire relationship. Cheating is in their nature. Like the scorpion and the frog.